Bucknutters, and welcome into the Morning 5 on May 14th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle. On today's show, we're going to talk about Ohio State's 2014 football schedule. We'll get into Ohio State football recruiting. We'll give a quick update on Evan Turner, and we'll discuss the minor renovations that are ongoing at Ohio Stadium. Yesterday, it was announced that Ohio State's homecoming game against Rutgers on October 18th will kick off at 3:30 p.m. The game will be televised by ABC, ESPN, or Big Ten Network, with a determination on the network coming either 6 or 12 days before the game. Overall, this is a solid schedule for the Buckeyes, especially compared to the cupcake slate of last season. Ohio State opens up with Navy in Baltimore on August 30th, and that game will be no joke. Navy was 9-4 last year and have most of their team returning. By the way, that game will be televised by CBS Sports Network. You might want to check and make sure your cable or satellite provider carries CBS Sports Network, because I know my cable provider does not. Also in the non-conference slate, the Buckeyes will host Virginia Tech and Cincinnati, who are each decent teams. Virginia Tech was 8-5 last year, and Cincinnati was 9-4. Ohio State wraps up the non-conference schedule against Kent State, who is coached by former Ohio State assistant Paul Haynes. During the Big Ten schedule, obviously the game at Michigan State on November 8th will be a marquee event. Ohio State beat the Spartans in East Lansing 2 years ago by a point, but then lost to them in the Big Ten championship game last year. You know the Buckeyes will be fired up for that one. In a scheduling oddity, Ohio State has 5 games in November and only 3 in October. The regular season, of course, culminates with the game, Michigan at Ohio State on November 30th. Can Urban Meyer go 3-0 against Brady Hoke? I think he will. Then the Buckeyes will be off to either the inaugural 14 college football playoff or a bowl game. Let's hope it's the former. Now for the latest on Ohio State football recruiting. Let's go out to the dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic.
The Buckeyes have gone to the state of Arizona to offer a scholarship to super wide receiver Christian Kirk. They did that quite some time back. And at the beginning of May, they went to the state of South Dakota to offer a scholarship to offensive lineman Grant Schmidt. Then on Tuesday, they went to the state of Utah to offer a scholarship to linebacker Porter Gustin. Certainly, these states, Arizona, South Dakota, and Utah, are not states the Buckeyes traditionally recruit hard in, although certainly they've had prospects from Arizona come to Ohio State. But when you look at what Urban Meyer is doing with his recruiting, he is going to go to any and every place he can to get the best possible prospects for Ohio State, and these offers shouldn't be taken lightly in places like Arizona for Christian Kirk and Utah for Porter Gustin, as I feel the Buckeyes have a very legitimate shot at landing Christian Kirk, for example. He has Ohio State as one of his top choices, and in linebacker Porter Gustin, they have offered a 6'5" and now 240-pounder who is definitely not taking his scholarship offer from Ohio State lightly. Gustin told me when I spoke with him on Tuesday night that Ohio State is definitely one of his top choices, and he plans on getting out to Ohio State as soon as possible, probably early this summer. Porter Gustin has approximately 30 scholarship offers, and he tells me that Ohio State is definitely one of his top schools, and that comes right after Ohio State offered him a scholarship and before he has even been to Ohio State. So certainly the Buckeyes are making every effort to go anywhere in the country to land the very best prospects they can for the Ohio State program.
Thank you, Bill. All right, no need to spend much time on this, but wanted to give a quick update on former Ohio State basketball star Evan Turner, who is in the NBA playoffs with the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers lost 102-79 last night to the Washington Wizards, and the Pacers now lead 3-2 in the series. Turner played 18 minutes last night, but had just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. He also had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a turnover. I still think Turner will get decent money this offseason when he's a free agent, but his value has certainly taken a hit since joining the Pacers. Game 6 of the series will be held tomorrow night in Washington. Ohio Stadium is currently undergoing renovations that will cost roughly $9 million. The renovations will add 2,500 seats, will include permanent lighting, the installation of new field turf, and more. The Buckeyes are trying to make the Horseshoe a louder environment, and one of the things they're doing to achieve that is to have more students close to the field behind each end zone. A total of 18,900 students will be in the south stands, and 9,400 more will be in the north end. I think Ohio Stadium is the best football venue in the country. Admittedly, I'm a bit biased, and it's good to see that Ohio State continues to improve the facility. By the way, the official capacity now will be roughly 105,000. Thank you very much for joining us for the Morning 5. I hope everybody has a great day.